There we go. What we got here? Spotted bass. Nice one there. So this time of the year, you know, it's pre-spawn. We're at Table Rock Lake, but any highland reservoir that's, you know, rocky bottom like this is just going to be a great place to catch these transitioning fish as they first kind of move up and very conditionally to a lot of these banks. You can look at the bank here and see that it's kind of a flatter, kind of a little small chunk rocky gravelly point. The water temperature is 51 degrees right now, and these bass, when they move out of deep water, and here, all three species, you'll catch them on this kind of stuff, but I'm really focused, or trying to focus on transitions, little areas where two different types of bank really come together, and a lot of it happens under the water that you can't see with your eyes. In a lot of these flatter banks like this, it's kind of hidden to you because there's lots of places out under the water where it happens. So that's what I'm really looking at with my Mega 360. And of course, Lake Master mapping is just such a huge tool for me on all of these lakes. It really helps me understand how things change. You can see here where it kind of tucks in and gets tight right there. Those are these key little, those key stretches where there's a bottom contour change that I'm really focusing on to really dial this pattern in this time of year. There he is, good one too. A new smallmouth. Smallmouth love these gravel points. Oh yeah, real good one. Look there. Just got that right there, but yeah, that's what I love about this bait. I can, you know, this little 3XD, I've got two number 4 Mustad KVD, you know, extra shorts, extra strongs on there, and man, it just gets them like that. But and that is a good fish right there. And it's right on, there's a little rounding gravel point right here. It's steeper on this side. I mean, the Lake Master map shows it to a T where it flattens out, and that's always where they're at. I mean, literally the cast before, I missed a good, you know, I missed one that hit it, and I said, you know, this is right where you should catch one. That's what I love about that Lake Master, is it just shows you all those bottom composition changes and contour changes. It's one of the most valuable tools that I have that I think a lot of people take for granted. So on this point, it's real flat on this side, but you can see the deeper water tucks in a little tighter. And then there's one little spot right there where, you know, the lines are real tight. It's steeper right on this little corner. And those are the kind of, those subtle differences, that's what the fish really focus on. And having the depth shading like this, it really helps me see the differences, you know, just to make it really all stand out, to see how steep or flat in a particular area is. So just is a great tool. Got another one, big one, big one. Oh yeah, great big one. Big largemouth. Giant, and he's got that thing just choked. Everything uses these transitions this time of year. Look at the size of that one. And the color, that is a really unique fish right there. That is one of the coolest looking bass that I've ever caught. And it's like it's almost a 7-pounder. Look at there. Yeah, that's a 7-pounder all day right there. And look at those markings. That side of the face. And that 3XD, choked. I mean, exact same spot. I caught a smallmouth 2 casts before that, and this guy's in the same spot. You know, we've got perfect conditions right now with this cloud cover. I prefer a little extra wind, but you know, we'll take whatever we can get. That's a really good fish right there, though. So don't think that it takes a big bait to catch them. This little bait right here has been a secret killer for me for a long time, ever since we came out with it. Small profile, it's perfect for this time of the year. Imitates a crawfish real well. And I mean, these fish just, they can't handle it, you know. Love that color too. Let you go. You know, I can make this pattern work in clear water on a cloudy day without much wind, but the more wind you have, it just seems like those fish get more active, they get up there a little more shallow, they're less spooky, and they're more aggressive. So you gotta fish the conditions, and they change by the minute, so we're gonna keep changing. We got a lot more wind here. That's critical. You know, the wind cuts down the light penetration, it creates some current. Those fish will get up there shallower in it, helps me cast further. You know, this little 3XD really gets down there. I mean, it's pretty easy to get it 12 foot deep, but you know, when you get a little bit of wind behind you, I can throw it that much further. I've hit the bottom in 15 foot of water with this little bait. So having that small profile, being able to be hitting the bottom the whole cast is critical. So you want to throw it a long ways. You know, I throw it on my signature cranking series from Hues. I love the CC2. It's a 7 foot medium action. It's got a soft tip. It's a composite cranking rod. That composite rod, it's so much slower than a regular graphite rod. It allows them to get the bait better, but more importantly, it just allows that bait to work better. It deflects and has more action with a softer rod like this. My signature cranking reel, it's got a 6:2 gear ratio, which gives it 25 inches per turn, and to me that is the perfect ratio for speed and feel. You know, if you have too high speed of a reel, I feel like it hurts the feel of the bait to really know exactly what it's doing out there. And you can overfish it too, you know. I want to keep it moving, but not too fast as well. You don't want it too slow and you don't want it too fast. You want that bait kicking around down there, bouncing off those rocks, and that's what triggers those fish to bite. Right there at the boat. Big old spot. Right on the end of the point. I mean, I got the wind blowing on here. Look at that fat guy. Same, let me hit spot lock here a second. Same deal, man. I mean, there's a lot of different colors that you can work, and you know, if you catch one and you see the color of the crayfish, you know, a lot of times you'll see them sticking out of their gullet, and you can see that they're green or brown. But here on Table Rock, I've learned over the years that, gosh, man, they love brown. But Phantom Craw is a real good color here as well. We got a good watermelon red in this, but I think this is real visible, and especially if there's a little color in the water, kind of like there is now. It's probably got 5-6 foot of visibility. That baby carp, the brown crawfish, the brown orange craw, those are all really, really good colors. You know, one of the key things when you're out here and you start fishing a couple of points is when you do get a couple bites, pay real close attention to not only what you see, you know, the composition is up on the bank, but on your Lake Master mapping too, to see like exactly where you're at, if they're, you know, on the little corners, or if they're on the flatter parts of the point, or if they're, you know, on the sides, or where, you know, if it's a transition, whatever it is, because then you can really focus as you go around and start running that pattern on those key areas. So you can see right here on the Mega 360 that there's a really good rock transition out here. There's a fish too. You can see I'm cranking right down that, and there it is, largemouth. That's a classic example of, you know, you look up at the bank, you'd never see that, but on my Mega 360, I can see that rock transition, and that's where that fish was at. That's a good one there too. You gotta have your bait in the zone where that, you know, those two types of rock come together down there under the water, because that's where the fish are hanging. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. There is an underwater ledge, and how you can tell is you can see that really stark shadow to it. So, I mean, it's the Mega 360 shining out there, and that's falling off, and you can actually even see it on the live right here. You can see out right here, it drops right off there too. I've got the trolling motor spotlight, and it's shining right down the edge of it, and you can see that 2 foot ledge right there. And then here, right on the transition on the Lake Master, you can see there's that little curve right there. So anytime I see those irregularities on the Lake Master, I know that's something I need to be looking for. But that Mega 360 just shows everything around the boat. This is one of my favorite weapons. Bass relate to transitions, to bottom composition transitions. A crankbait is one of the key baits that really allows you to cover a ton of this water to find these areas. I mean, you can always go back through with other lures to catch more fish, but When they're first coming up, man, it's dynamite in this pre-spawn.